paper in front of the bus with no clothes on. With that, remember, Betty Oswald superintendent?
Yeah,
There was a,
no, I don't remember that.
and they said, can you do it 15 minutes later or
Yeah.
15 minutes earlier?
Are we just about? Few seconds.
He was great fun though. He was really
He
great.
was a good guy.
You can go.
Okay, the owl's on.
Yes.
All right, I am going to call to order the Town of Griswold Board of Selectmen regular meeting on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, 6 PM in the downstairs meeting room. Call to order, roll call, Tina Falk for Selectman, Martin McKinney, Selectman, Rich Grabowski, Selectman. And to our left, we have Lisa Wood, Executive Assistant, excuse me. And also in attendance is, Borough Warden, Lori Sorter, and 6 residents. All right, number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to number 3. Approval of minutes. We have regular meeting minutes from May 13th. Special meeting minutes from May 14th. And special meeting minutes from May 15th.
I make a motion, we approve May 13th, 2025, May 14th, 2025, special meeting, May 15th, special meeting, 2025.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval of minutes from May 13th, May 14th, May 15th. Just hold on one second. No, I just wanted to double check something. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Item number 4, correspondence. Letter from Miranda Mahoney regarding resignation from the Griswold Public Health and Safety Committee.
I guess we'll gratefully accept her resignation and thank her for her time on the committee.
Absolutely. They were all the same to me.
Okay.
Yeah, now the Democrat, Jennifer Gothier, I'm sorry,
No problem.
with a passing score.
All right, cool.
Old business. A, discussion and possible action on proposed revisions to the Registrar of Voters ordinance as presented by the ordinance committee. So we've all had a chance to review it, and I don't know if anybody had comment. I did send, I emailed both Cindy Martin and Jennifer Gothier, asked if they had, an opportunity to review it. And, from my understanding, they are both fine with the ordinance as presented.
Well, the only question I had is they're going from 2 years to 4 years. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
Yeah,
So they're taking their elected position with normally a 2-year position and go to 4 years. That's one of the things that I saw. I know everybody knows that, everybody has a problem with that.
now, I honestly don't see the need for a change, but, if that's what the registrars want. My only real question was on page 4. 80-8 compensation is contradictory all over the place. Says in respect to hours, the law requires registrars to post their hours.
then it goes down further, it says, does not require register to work full-time or specify a minimum number of hours per week. Regarding compensation, the municipality decides the registrar's hours. I mean, that's all over the place. Either you do or you don't, you know what I mean?
It's broad.
And as far as the changes, I just,
Well, in lieu of that, and I know we're having some discussion about compensation, so maybe we should table the whole thing until we go through that compensation factor.
Tomorrow's meeting.
Tomorrow, you have a meeting with them?
Yeah.
That's just my thought.
I wanna make a motion, we table it till next meeting, and hopefully we get some input from the town attorney between now and then.
And the brothers.
And, well, they said that they were happy with it, so.
I second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to table item 4B. No, I'm sorry. 5A until we're able to research this a little bit more and talk with town's attorney. All in favor?
All right,
Aye. Okay, 5B, discussion and possible action on hosting training for an active shooter scenario as suggested by the Public Health and Safety Committee. And at our last meeting, we asked about who would be teaching it and the cost. I did email the chair and I've given you a copy of his response. So I think right now it's gonna be on hold until they're able to provide more information.
I make a motion, we table this to the next scheduled meeting at this time.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table item 5B until additional information is received from the Public Health and Safety Committee.
I would think that I don't oppose this, but in the write-up that I've read, there's no mentions of the schools. And active shooters are in the schools,
Mhm.
pretty much. So
Well, that makes-
I would want, hopefully that they would, the Board of Ed would be receptive to something like that. I don't know. I can't speak for
I
them.
would agree.
Yeah, and the original email, all it reads is Town Hall, Senior Center and Youth Center. So I'm not sure about the
I have
school.
a question as to where. I don't oppose the training, but
I think the biggest exposure is certainly the schools.
I mean, that's,
We can check on that. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Number 6, new business. Discussion and possible action on social media issues. I have nothing.
I have one thing. Well, there was an article in New London Day, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. There's been some contaminated soil dumped somewhere, at least according to the day, in 2 locations in Norwich, 1 location in, Franklin, I believe, and
Mhm.
1 location in Jewett City. And I know I immediately brought that to Tina's attention. She's working with the DEP, the DEEP, to try to find out what's going on, and we haven't heard anything back.
like, I don't know if it's the same issue, but I questioned that a year ago as far as the material that was brought into the plastic wire and cable site.
And we did do that. We did get some pretty comprehensive reports from them, because it was,
Yeah.
they told us it was they were hauling in from a barge. They didn't say they were hauling in from
Panema
Panema Mills.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we got probably 30 pages of analytical and letters from engineers saying that they tested the barges and all that type of stuff at that particular time. The reason why that got shut down, so everybody knows, is because the issue was it wasn't structural fill. So if they were thinking about building on top of it, it was basically just mud. So one of the things that zoning did at the time, so look, if you're gonna, we don't mind you use that fill for non-structural issues, but if you're gonna fill, because there's a 14-foot grade that's gotta come up there. Okay, and some of that sections. So with that being said, we wanted structural fill, and then I don't know if the economy changed, but the whole thing,
Yeah.
from my knowledge, since.
The original, the one that was
Right.
explained to me, they wanted to use that material with the crushed concrete and mix it.
It makes it all up, but it still wasn't considered structural
Yeah.
to be building buildings over, especially that depth there was a 14-foot
Yeah.
grading certain portions of it. I'm not sure what portion of it was, but there was a grade increase.
Well, we had a meeting the same day that newspaper article came out, and Patrick McCormick from Uncas Health was here. And, he's researching it, but it seems like they know that some truckloads were taken out. They just don't know who or where.
Okay. I just don't want to be surprised by it, and I want everybody to know we're working on trying to find out where it is. And the only avenue we have as selectmen is to the DEEP and
Yeah.
to the other ones.
But there was very little information, so I thought it was odd that they would put a newspaper article out there, but there was no verification of anything.
Okay,
So
I'm
it was just a
putting it out
lot of
there.
finger pointing,
It was
yeah.
on the front page of the paper. I just
Yep,
wanna make sure.
Yep, oh, I ran out and got the day after you called me, so. Okay, anything else on social media issues? Okay, moving on to 6B, discussion and possible action on reappointment of Melanie Pelletier, is it Pelletier or Peltier? Peltier as a member of the Rickstown Cemetery Committee for a 6-year term of 4/24/25 to 4/23/2031.
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Melanie as a member of the Rickstown Cemetery Committee for a 6-year term of 4/24/25 through 4/23/31.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Melanie Peltier's reappointment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, item number 7, any other business that may properly come before the board? No.
Well, I do, but we'll wait.
Okay, sure,
Yeah.
okay. All right, hearing nothing, we'll move on to number 8, public forum.
Dayview, 59 Lee Avenue. It's a new quarter, so I've asked again about the Petrillo property. And another question I have is I've noticed a lot of empty businesses now popping up around town. And I'm wondering if maybe we could encourage the EDC to try and help people move into those businesses, working with the owners or something, but
Are you
They
talking
have-
about Main Street?
Main Street, even going out, 165. Yeah, the old, well, it wasn't that old, Adventure Sports,
Oh, yeah,
the Polaris Victory dealer,
right.
totally.
At the
vacant.
airport, I mean, the old airport. There was a
No,
motorcycle place.
no, that's,
138.
Advanced, 138.
yeah,
Oh, that was bought by somebody. Something's going in there.
I'm going, okay. I just find driving around, we got a restaurant over here. That's empty. There just seems to be a lot of vacant buildings.
The economy's tough sometimes too.
Yeah.
But I think some of these mortgages are getting higher and higher, so that means the rent goes up and up. You know, so, you know, I'm not just making assumptions, I don't know.
No, and Lori's here and, she's nodding her head because there are some things, that are in the works, some possibilities that we can't speak to.
Right, we got
Yep.
our fingers crossed.
Yep, and there's also a program that we got involved with through the chamber, Norwich Chamber, Connecticut Main Street, when they came in and did an evaluation of at least this immediate area here. So, there's a lot of conversation going on.
I will tell you, they're doing a nice job outside of
Outbound.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
putting all new windows in and siding on, so
Right, right.
I don't know what the inside looks like, but the outside looks really good.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I know that, there was some conversation and maybe I should have put this on any other business, but I'll just say it briefly. There was some conversation and I had asked some questions too about the St. Mary's School. And, I just wanted to say that until we formally receive word or confirmation, because I've heard both sides, I've heard that, nah, still may be a possibility, looking at something else, and then I've heard that it's probably not gonna happen. So rather than misspeak, until I have definite confirmation,
Right, it's gotta be
I will
like
not answer
every
any
other,
questions about
every
it.
other developer deserves the right to make their own decisions,
Mhm.
not what Facebook or anything else says. So I think if a developer doesn't come back to us with that it's out, it's still on as far as we're concerned.
right, until, yeah, and I've not heard anything official.
Right.
Okay, public forum still. Yes,
So I'll follow up with both chairs, one for public
By the way,
mail and one
thank
for
you.
Deep Trail. For the questions on the active shooter, I'll bring
Yeah.
that up at the school. Talk to them about that.
okay, good.
And then, I'll talk to them about the,
I talked to Rich Wazelik about that. According to state statute, it should still be 2 years. But I have to look at it again because it's another thing, 2 spots. One says 4 years, one says 2 years. So
Okay.
I'll look at it again.
Yeah,
and get back
surprise,
to
huh?
Rich on it.
All right, let us know.
Okay.
Thank you, Cheryl. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Deer Road. Still waiting for my speed monitoring sign.
Mm-hmm.
I have made 5 attempts in your office to get a sign, to get speeding monitored. Nothing has happened, and I am more than frustrated.
Well, the gentleman that you want to address it to is here.
Speed sign we took off Latham Drive and we ordered batteries and a connector.
Okay,
So we see those, would only stay in charge for about 30-40 minutes of the solar panel, so.
it hasn't been forgotten. It's just the length of time. So,
Well,
And they're a Canadian company, so we reached out, we ordered it, but no time for it.
well, last I heard was you called my house, talked to my husband, and said it would be a week.
it was going to be during that week, but then when they took it off of Latham Drive, you had a battery shortage, at least.
Yeah, so put it out at the garage for the charge that next day and the next morning. It was on when we came in and the guy left the shop about an hour later and it stopped already.
Hmm.
So
Well, batteries don't last forever, I know.
Is that the only one we have, Todd?
still only have, but we did get a grant in coordination with UConn in the fall, we're supposed to get 3 additional ones.
Ooh,
So that's positive news.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's hard when I've written 3 or 4 letters. I came to the meeting in April.
Yep.
And you see nothing, you hear nothing, so you don't know if people are paying attention or not.
We are. My last communication was with your husband.
Yeah.
And then it passed on to Public Works. Now, if there was something beyond that, I was not aware, but that answers the question. Thank you.
Another question I had in trying to review the agendas and the minutes of the meetings that are held here, the selectmen's meetings. Sometimes the minutes will bring up, where the agenda will bring up correspondence, etc. How does a person get listed to have correspondence addressed at these meetings? I'm not sure how that happens, but I've written to you 3 times.
Yep.
I don't see it on any agenda.
Any Public Works complaints that come in, and Lisa, you know this, there's a stack right behind my chair. And that's all Public Works. All of those requests, concerns, complaints are shared and sent to Public Works. And I keep track of them this way. But what you see in here in terms of correspondence.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the complaints or the concerns. It's resignations, reappointments, those types of things.
Was there somebody that wrote in recently about their neighborhood or their roads or something? That was in one of the recent,
That might have been the budget meeting. So,
I don't know if it was, but I didn't.
No, the Westchester or where they had the truck parking in residential areas
Woodcrest.
and the
Woodcrest, where they
washout.
took all the,
Woodcrest.
they took all the
Woodcrest,
power
yeah.
signs down or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't read the whole thing. I just know that sometimes it gets listed and I didn't know that I was submitting it incorrectly, which is why I was
No.
asking.
No,
No,
Okay.
no.
The other question I have is regarding loose stack on Oakville.
Regarding what? I'm sorry?
Loose stack, the road was paved
Yep.
and our stone wall came down
Mm-hmm.
in sections. I need to know if I need to get estimates for the cost to have that fixed and submit them to the town, or how that can be addressed, when it will be addressed.
Okay.
And my husband talked to you about that, he said?
Yes, and I think there was some review. Did,
Probably starting next week, we're gonna go back to Oakville. The last couple of weeks with the holiday and cemeteries, we had 16 cemeteries to mow, so
Yeah.
we pulled off Oakville Road.
Yeah, you do a lot. I've been trying to follow, you get appointed here and appointed there, but,
So we still have edges to lumen seed, gravel to put down,
okay.
and stone walls to address. We haven't forgotten it. Just,
I didn't know if we're supposed to get somebody else to fix them and submit the bill to the town, or if the town is gonna be able to fix them. I don't
we're
know.
gonna try to fix it. I mean, some of those, I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, some of those walls aren't a wall, they're more of a pile. You know, they're not very wide, they're like 1 or 2 stones wide, where a stone wall is usually.
Yeah, but that
So-
doesn't excuse the fact that if it was piled before the paving, it needs to be piled after the paving.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's difficult to get them to
Well,
kind of balance back there, but we're gonna do our best to see what we can do.
So can we have a rough time frame for that, or?
I would say by the middle of June.
All right,
should be. We've still got a couple of driveway aprons we gotta go back and do.
yeah,
Probably do the driveway apron first, then we're gonna go to the corner of Oakville and Norman and fill that big drop there. That'll be probably one of our primary concerns.
all right, yeah, because as property owners, we need to know what's going on and
The walls will be the last thing we do, to be honest with you.
the last them.
You know, everything else is more of a safety concern than the wall at that point.
Well, the problem I have with the wall though, is that it's preventing people from utilizing their yard because they can't pick up the rocks, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's just, you know.
are there that many rocks that fell?
I drove the other day, I went from 138 onto Oakville, crossed over where, was that Taylor Hill? Taylor Hill comes down, and then you get back to, Oakville. And from that side, or from that direction, I was very surprised at the amount of damage on those stone walls, the first couple of houses on the right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good. It's very noticeable. So
Thank you.
that needs to be taken care of, please.
Is that it?
For now, I think.
Okay. Thank you for coming in.
I could ask another question.
Okay.
Breeze line,
That's not our department.
what's Breeze Line's affiliation with the town? Is that because it's like a licensing thing or something?
It's just a utility, like, no.
It's just a
Was there
utility.
some sort of vacancy on a Breeze Line appointment or?
Oh, no, that's for the, television station
The
down,
cable,
the cable
Cable
network,
advisory.
Eastern Cable, whatever that's.
cable advisory
It's called
board.
something different now. It used to be Eastern Cable down
Yeah.
in My Rock Avenue, Waterford. It's an advisory,
Yeah.
it's an advisory. There's still a position open for it if you want.
Mhm.
I don't want any position. No, I'm good. I'm just trying to figure out, because we're Breeze Line customers. And I'm trying to figure out what the affiliation is with the town, because whenever we have an issue, the town doesn't come up, but it shows up on a Breeze Line bill.
Mhm.
Says
No,
Just
there's
City.
no connection that I can,
Town of Griswold is what it says on there.
Yeah.
So,
well, for location, sure.
well, yeah, I'm just not sure what the connection is.
I don't think we have any affiliation
No.
that could be, that I know
No. Okay, any other public forum? Lori, you haven't spoken yet?
Yeah, Laurie Sorter, Borough Warden, 67 Ashland Street. I just, I have a request, if you guys see fit, I'd love to have a copy to review of the ordinance committee, of the ordinance for the registrar. And the purpose that I'd like to see it is just because of, the borough elections and the borough referendum that, you know, they served for the borough. So if I could see that, I was
Gonna give
actually
you
glad that.
Yeah, I'll give you one. I'll give you mine. I got plenty of copies.
You want to know the ordinance that exists or the one they
The
propose?
one that exists is only 2 lines long, 3
Right,
lines
the
long.
one that is proposed.
No, Okay.
Yeah,
Here you go, Laura. I'll give it to
just
you.
so I can, maybe give comment as it relates to the borough. So that's my first request. My second request, regarding the, training for the active shooter, I would question, not that I think that it's a bad thing, thank you, Martin, but I would question what the scope of that training is gonna be, because I remember hearing, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, that, a proposal was out there to do some active, shooter training, and there were gonna be police, and there were gonna be, all kinds of,
Helicopters and.
yeah,
Oh,
all
yeah.
that stuff, and I don't know if that's what this
No,
proposal
no,
is,
no.
or
That, that's not the extent that we want it to be. We want it to be very general information without alarming people, scaring people, or people thinking that, oh my gosh, is this really happening? No, it's just, informational. That's it.
All right, thank you.
Dave, you 59 Leah, the Petrillo garage situation, any new developments?
Um,
And I'm aware of.
no, nothing more than, I think the judge, it had ruled in favor of the town. But now there's a little bit of a holdup on it because of a filing for foreclosure. So, but I think for the most part,
It's a game, Dave,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a game. It's a-
But we're much
We're still moving forward, but it's not as fast as anybody, even though
Exactly.
we want it faster,
right,
but it's
right.
just, it just.
But
supports
it's,
it.
yeah, I think the court has ruled in favor.
Right,
of the
we're getting
town,
there,
but
not
yeah.
there.
So. Yes,
Cheryl Canola, 52 Dino Lane. As far as the active shooters, NFA had a lockdown today for a good portion of the day. It was all over Facebook. Parents were freaked out.
oh, I hadn't heard
Because
that.
they had no idea what was going on. The kids were texting their parents. They didn't know what was going on. I don't know if there was they never said. They said there was a rat in or around the school, so I don't know. So I believe definitely with the school, since I don't know, someone did bring up the senior center might throw them off, but employees should be aware.
But the employees, most definitely, yes.
And the youth center, absolutely.
Yep.
And
No, we
here,
agree, we agree.
and here, I mean, you need to know.
We wanted more of as a class,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
and I
you
think that's
a
what Rich is
training.
going
a training
for.
program for
A training.
employees of.
Yeah.
Right, and like the CPR training that we took at the senior center, that was awesome that we took in first aid. If they had something like that, I think you can get a lot of residents that would be interested in